NIL's back, and I'll recognize gentlemen from Georgia.
How
Probably
did you
the
know I
number
was
one
from
Georgia
Georgia?
Bulldog. Yeah, how do I know?
You can put it.
Okay, well, I got to be fair.
Sorry.
Anyway, national champions, two-time national championships, back-to-back, from the University of Georgia.
Take as much time as
Mr.
you want,
Carter.
Mr. Chairman. Take
All
as
right.
much time as you want.
Thank you. That
Thank
hurt,
you.
but it pained me to say it, but
Well,
I had to say
I'm
it.
going to sit here the whole time.
thank y'all for being here. We're obviously very concerned. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing and for your interest in what I consider to be very, very important. Look, obviously, I love the University of Georgia. I graduated from there in 1980. We won the national championship that year. We won back-to-back. I'm one of those, just like you. We all love college athletics. That's why we're so concerned about this, because we don't want to see it ruined. We get it. We understand that. It was even discussed back when I was in school, way back then, about athletes being compensated. And I get it and understand that, but we want it to be done in the right way. And certainly, I know during this hearing, we've had some great questions. And they brought up the California's College Athlete Protection Act. And I know that potentially, and full disclosure, I've had the opportunity to discuss, the situation with some of my friends at the University of Georgia and administration, and that's one thing that they're really concerned about, is if something like this were to go into effect, the impact that it would have on some of the other sports. We offer 21 sports at the University of Georgia, and they're all very important to our school, and we want to make sure that they continue on. Dr. Abdullah, can you tell me if your state, if Virginia, where I have grandbabies, by the way, if Virginia followed the California bill, what do you think the impact would be on those other athletic programs? And listen, they live in Charlottesville, and they go to UVA athletics all the time and enjoy it.
If I'm being honest, sir, I don't entirely know, because the impact of that level of revenue sharing is predominantly known by the Power 5 schools, the larger schools. At Virginia State University, we are all student fee driven, and athletics is an extracurricular activity. And if your grandbabies would love to come to Virginia State, we would gladly recruit them to VSU.
Thank you, Ms. Mudge. What about you? Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, I think I'm just very grateful for the experience that I've had the past 4 years, and I'm not an expert on everything that is happening outside of, my little square of Tallahassee, but hearing about possible revenue sharing models that could take funds and divert funds away from Olympic sports over to football and men's basketball, to male sports, would be severely detrimental to Olympic sports. And I just couldn't imagine what my life would be without Florida State softball the past 4 years, and the relationships I've made, and the access to education that I've been able to build, and just everything that I've been able to do the past 4 years. So
that's why this is so very important to us. Thank you for that testimony. That's spot on. I mean, it changed your life, right?
Yes, it changed my life. I wouldn't be who I am today without Florida State.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Mr. Burton, I'm sorry you had to play at the University of Florida, but
I object to that.
seriously, I want to follow up with what my good friend from North Dakota discussed about the transfer portal, and because that's a concern too. I mean, wow, so much has changed, and that, change is okay, but we just got to make sure we're not hurting it. And that's one thing I'm very concerning about reports about the way the transfer rule changes coincided with the release of the NCAA NIL policy. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm not familiar with the policy. What's the policy? Like, really
well, they led to an environment where, I mean, are they trying, is it pay for play? I mean, that's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, I think the transfer portal and NIL are completely separate conversations, but somehow they're getting blended now just because they're both possible. Back then, obviously, they weren't possible. I'm on the understanding that money is being thrown at recruits, high school and transfer portal in a way, and that's why I think we need to have legislation and laws on what is available to be used for transfer portal and what's not, and just clear boundaries, I think is kind of what everybody's asking for right now.
Good, good. Well, again, obviously, I love college athletics. Let me tell you, I was at the University of Georgia. I got to see John McEnroe play John Sondry in tennis. I still remember it. Sondre had 13 aces, and McEnroe still beat him 2 and 3, beat him like a drum. And I don't want to see that ruined. I don't want to see it go away. It means so much to so many of us. Thank y'all, and thank you again.
Buddy,